Hello and welcome to another episode of AntipoDnD, a show with a bunch of Aussies playing Dungeons and Dragons in a setting partly inspired by prehistoric Australia and New Zealand. I am joined, as usual, by Kynwyn as Dagmar, Doug as Vetericus, April as Aussie, and Zinthings as Morzod. And I am David, the Dungeon Master and Showrunner, which is the title I've given myself because I do things other than just Dungeon Master for this. Okay, so we'll get straight into the game. We'll pick up where we left off last week. So our heroes, our characters, have left the city-state of Providence. They're heading north, ultimately northwest toward the town of Mirror's Reach. On the way, they just shortly outside of town, they encountered a halfling who had run up a tree, or climbed a tree, after being chased by an enraged diprotodon, like a giant wombat thing. The halfling begged for help. Our heroes, who actually became heroic for a moment, saved the halfling, defeated the diprotodon with a ridiculously powerful witch bolt from the wizard.
It was really cool.
The halfling revealed that he had dropped his lucky stone, which our heroes identified as a sending stone, and managed to convince him to hand over as payment for saving his life, though the halfling did not seem all that keen on doing so. Leaving the halfling behind, our heroes proceeded further up the road, where just a short distance further, they were ambushed by a group of 5 individuals armed with bows and crossbows and firearms, the leader of whom spoke in rather polite terms, saying, "Friends, you have taken our friend's sending stone. We would like it back, please." And I'll just quickly describe this leader for you again. They're tall, they seem to have a fairly lithe build, but they are fully covered in grey cloth, and it looks like leather that has a sort of grey dye to it. And completely covered. Gloves, the face, there's cloth around the neck and everything, and they're wearing a full solid face mask, which is actually rather nicely decorated, and they've got a grey hood over the top as well. So the leader is, there's basically nothing you can tell about them from their general build, but alongside the leader there's a what looks like a half-orc, who is holding a great axe, as well as a crossbow currently pointed at you. The great axe is on their side. There's a gnome who is holding a musket, and you can see that they've actually got some kind of pole on a swivel attached to the musket, so they've planted it in the ground, because otherwise it'd be way too big for a gnome to handle. Trust me, I've lifted a musket and they are heavier than they look. It's like a great big club of metal and steel, so it's taller than me, basically.
Functional.
Wow.
Yeah, this is it. In the UK, I got to handle a brown bess. One of the reenactors was very generous, and because there was nobody else around, they let me hold the musket for a moment. It was and there's also a human with a long bow looking very much like your stereotypical ranger, and there is an elf with a short bow. The leader of this group has asked for their friend's sending stone back. What do you do?
Just real quick, are the others also wearing all grey, or are they just...
No, the others are wearing what you would consider fairly typical mercenary outfits. It's a hodgepodge group. It's just the leader who is this distinctly grey look about them.
And what era of mercenary? They look like Lenchneck because
that they look like a D&D adventuring party. I'll put it that way.
Okay, all right. Not that colourful then. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Well,
I have setting stone, don't I?
Yes, you do.
But I guess I'd better earn my keep, given that I'm not the combat guy in the group. So Viterica will wander
I'm going
up
to give you a
and-
nudge forward, just a little.
So I will wander forwards and say, "Friend, nothing was given or nothing was taken that was not freely offered, as reward for a job well done."
The leader says, "Our friend told us otherwise. His message that he sent before handing the stone over was, 'These right bastards are stealing my stone. Please recover it.'"
Did your friend also mention that we flash fried a Diprotodon in 6 seconds flat?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Ooh, come on, do it, party face.
Come on.
Do.
So that is an 8, but because of Silver Tongue, it bumps straight up to a 10. So that is 15.
Wow.
Still not great, but not awful.
Maybe I should have made you roll deception because I think it took 2 rounds to kill it, which is 12 seconds. Anyway,
Yes,
no.
it would.
Oh, right.
But no,
I'm
the
better.
leader says, "No, he did not mention that."
Did he? Well, he couldn't have possibly known this, but we have also faced down the Titan of Gemdanon and lived to tell the tale.
Give me another persuasion roll,
I mean, yeah,
which is going to be at least 15, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
the brags.
the DC
I
on
rolled
this.
an 11, so it's 16.
Okay.
One better.
The leader just nods and says, "Okay. Did you also save our halfling friend from this Titan?"
Oh no, that was
just from the
3
died
days
body.
ago.
No, so I'm not entirely sure why you brought it up.
Just if you're thinking of doing anything unfortunate.
Oh, this is a threat then.
Like 4.
More a declaration of strength more than anything else.
I see. I can respect that. Well,
So, we seem to be at an impasse. What would satisfy you guys?
that you return what you have taken.
But we have taken nothing that was not offered.
At this point, you hear a voice shout out, "Give him a bloody stone back!" And you can see that Ehrman, the halfling, has been stealthing behind you and rolled well on his stealth rolls last week. And he shouts out, "You was intimidating me, you lot. You took that without, I was bloody scared, wasn't I? Give it back."
So are you telling me that you are so scared that words could convince you to part with something so important to you?
Yeah, right.
Words, my friend. Words are powerless. There is no way that words could possibly hurt, he says, preparing vicious mockery.
Look, if you weren't acting so shady, I wouldn't have asked for it. But you were being sneaky and changing your story all the time.
Look, Look, all right, it's a sending stone, all right? I was keeping watch on the road, waiting, I was looking for someone in particular, and then at this point the leader goes, "Imran, shh." And the halfling goes, "Look, they need to know we're not bad folk, all right? I think they've got this kind of hero complex about them, like, adventurers, they probably think we're bandits or something like that."
I mean, there are 4 projectile weapons pointed at us at this
I was
second.
going to ask if you were bandits, actually.
Well, the half-orc speaks up for the first time, and she says, and she turns to the leader and says, "That's a good question. Are we bandits?" And the leader says, "No, we are not bandits. We are..." Emmerin, go back and keep watch. You've got a job to do, and if you see the target, just yell, "Come running." No, don't yell. Come running, but do it quietly so we can set up. We don't know how much time we have. All right. And the leader looks back at the 4 of you and says, "What's happening is there's this merchant in Providence. They ripped us off. We are just waiting for them to pass by so that we can get back what they took from us."
Oh, that sounds fair.
They take.
Seems like a lot of people take things from you, doesn't it?
You can't read what's happening behind this individual's mask, but you can see that the gnome, who has not said anything yet, who seems to be wearing, or see what you would consider to be possibly wizard robes. The gnome is not at all happy at this point. He is very much glowering at you.
It's a
Wow,
wizard
back.
thing.
Yeah, having a mental wizard battle with it.
Staring match who blinks first.
Also, I know I've asked this question before. It's spring, right? Like spring-ish?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, sort of early to mid-spring. So
Look, I'll give
it's
you
a
back.
warm
Go.
day, clear skies at the moment.
I'll give you back your sending stone. I don't really have use for one. But, like, what's up with the getup anyway? Aren't you hot?
And the leader says, "No, this suits me."
It's a breathable fabric.
Oh, so...
Interesting.
Right,
I mean, I was going to give the rock back to your friend, but he ran off.
Give me persuasion or deception, depending on which is appropriate.
Both +0. Oh! 18!
18. Leader
Well
says,
done.
"All right, we'll hand it over now, and we'll call it even. No harm done. And if you have indeed saved our little friend from an enraged Diprotodon, is that what I understand?"
Yeah, actually, it was real funny. It was like all kind of red and bleedy and ugly. You seen more things around like that? I mean, do they do that often?
You can see that the human who has sort of a rangerish look about her, she's sort of furrowed her brow at this point, and looks at the leader, and the leader nods their head, and the ranger says, "Yeah, I've seen something like that. We found a have you heard of a kangaroo?"
A what?
No. It's sort of like a small diprotodon crossed with a rabbit, and it goes about on its... Okay, it sounds ridiculous now that I try to describe it, but look, they're plant eaters, and I was just walking up to one because I like kangaroos, and it had like these red eyes, and it tried to attack me, and I had to put it down.
Yeah, the Diprotodon. Your mate said that they don't usually do that.
Yeah, that's a bit of a concern. And you said this happened just here.
Yeah, he did run him up a tree. That's how we
Yeah.
found him. He was crying out because he was bailed up in a tree with this thing at the bottom.
Right before he said he would give us whatever payment we wanted if only he had it.
I melted that thing from the inside out, by the way.
It was great.
Thank you.
You can go check it if you like. I assume the corpse hasn't been removed.
I mean, there's
by your
bits
little
of it
friend back
left.
there.
It's
Yeah,
very
what-
melted.
yeah.
The ranger looks kind of tempted to do so, but the leader immediately sort of raises a hand and says, "We have business to attend to. Our merchant friend may be is sure to be on the road now and may be here at any moment. And we should really move back into hiding. If you would hand over the sending stone, then we can go our separate ways."
Well, your friend's already gone back up the road, so it seems like it would be more useful if you chucked down your sending stone. And then we could go on our way.
Do we need a rock that talks to another rock, guys?
Give me a persuasion roll with disadvantage, please.
I was more than happy to give it back, but she just kept talking, so it's not my problem anymore.
Persuasion with, let me, disadvantage. Oh, it's
I
an
was
8.
hoping no one would bring it up again and I could just walk off with it.
Pay no attention to the beardy nugget.
Yeah, no, that was an 8.
Yep, the leader says, "Or you could return what was taken, and that'll be the end of it. My patience is wearing thin."
Well, if we're doing that, we did still save your friend, and he did still promise us some reward for helping. If we're returning this reward, what can we claim as reward for flash frying a monster?
The
Hey, monster.
the fifth member of this group who hasn't said anything yet, the elf, female elf, she's wearing sort of studded leather, but is otherwise you're fairly lightly, casually dressed, as well as a short bow. You can also she's got a flute tucked into her belt, so she seems to be a performer of some kind. She just says, "Oh, come now, let us just..." Here, she reaches into a coin purse, says, "Well, that's more than I was expecting, but here," and she throws a 10 platinum, a 1 platinum coin, and it lands at your feet, Aussie. Will that do?
Pick it up and throw it back. I don't accept charity. I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give him the...
Let me see.
I give him the rock back.
Okay. You're going to toss the rock up at them? Because they're sort of looking down at you. Okay.
Oh, I'll give it to the elf. I'll say back in Elvish what I just said.
She raises an eyebrow and nods approvingly. Takes a quick look at it. And holds it up to the leader and sort of says, "It's the one." The leader nods and says, "All right, please be on your way. The rest of you, back to your positions."
Vitericus sighs heavily, keeps going, and makes a mental note of just how much money we lost and what he might be able to claim from the ruins in recompense later on.
Don't you dare.
I'm going to give some stank eye as we go.
Yeah, nice. Look real mean.
Actually, on a whim, can I? Actually, no, I won't. Never mind. I was going to talk to the leader in Undercommon, but I don't think I will, just in case they don't like the under.
I will get you. I will have you make a perception check, just for Vitericus.
Okay.
Or insight. I think either could work in this circumstance.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll roll insight then.
Yeah.
Both results are 21. So
okay. You did notice just the slightest hint of an accent in the leader's common that you would associate with someone who naturally speaks Undercommon.
Wonderful. Well, I will wish them a good day in Undercommon as I go.
They sort of freeze as you do so, but then...
With a big smile on my face.
Yeah, and you still can't see what their face is doing. They just nod and hold up a hand as, a wave of farewell.
Wonderful.
I'll have
And off we go.
Glow watch them. Are they just going to scurry off back to where they were?
Yeah. Glow sees them move back into their hiding spaces, which are actually quite easy to spot from, above, but pretty much invisible from the road.
Burp.
So, you carry on. You have avoided...
Getting shot.
Getting
Shot,
shot.
yes.
For
I like
now.
avoiding getting shot. It's nice.
Yes.
After
Although,
another...
I suspect, Dagmar, your bardic inspiration from last session has now well and truly worn off.
I suspect so.
It's only 10 minutes, so I suspect that took 10 minutes.
After another 20 minutes or so of walking, you come to a junction in the road. And you consult your map of Eastern Keldrith and realize that this is where you choose. Do you continue north along Providence Way to take the long road to Mirror's Reach, or do you take the shortcut through Mercer's Pass,
We
which
decided
is
we weren't going to do that one, didn't we?
marked as being dangerous, but you're starting to think time might be a factor in this soul-blending illness that is affecting you.
Did I ever tell everyone?
Yeah, I was going to say, did Aussie
I
tell
didn't
us
think
that?
I did.
Did he tell
Okay.
us we got a terminal illness here? Because I don't know if he did.
Okay, so
It's
Aussie,
not come up.
upon viewing this junction, and you realise now might be the time to tell the others that time is a factor, but whether you do so is, of course, up to you.
Talk amongst yourselves for a minute, I'm thinking.
So are we like, has Aussie just stopped at the crossroads and is like lost in thought while we're like
Yeah, he's
going?
just standing there, just like looking out into the middle distance.
Cool.
While he's doing that, I am going to ask Vitericus for some advice. Because
Ooh.
I've noticed that you're really good at lying to people. And I might have an interest in more convincingly lying to people.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
how does one go about picking a false name?
A false name. Well, it has to sound believable at the end of the day, right? You can't just string a bunch of letters together and say it's foreign or something like that. It has to map to existing patterns and trends. So back on gold, the Talras has such a wide empire that a Talrasian name is probably the most sensible if you know if you have any familiarity with those. So you have two options as well with false names. You can go very bland, Johann Schmidt or whatever the equivalent is, John Smith, Hugh Man,
Man
whichever,
Levante.
really.
Dwarf.
Or yeah, that's
Dwarf?
right, Dwarf. That would work too.
I think even awesome.
Or you can go so over the top that the character just rises to meet it, as may or may not be the case with at least one of my false identities.
You have more than one?
I'll never tell.
Interesting. Do you have any tips for what I could name myself? Because all I can come up with is Shortfoot Dinglehammer, and I just don't know if I can commit to that.
That seems fair. That seems fair. Well, what are some common
How's your
features
thinking
of
going, Aussie?
I think he's just sit down now.
what are common features of dwarf names? How do you identify the important parts of a dwarf name? What do you think would be the important sections?
Oh, well, every third dwarf girl is named Dagmar.
Okay.
The other two are
that's canon now.
basically Greta and another name of German origin, currently escaping me.
Brunhilde. That's how
Brunhilde. Yes.
Yeah.
Basically,
Wonderful.
Dagmar,
Is it
Greta, and
German?
Brunhilde, and
I
my
don't know.
mother's name is Greta, and that would feel weird. So I guess Brunhilde.
Brunhilde would make sense. Is that normally the firstborn?
Often.
Okay. Do you feel like you could convincingly be a firstborn child? This
Well,
becomes an important part of your character later on, you see.
my firstborn sibling is a huge piece of shit, and I feel like I could channel that.
Wonderful. Excellent. We have a point of reference. That's important. That's good. Now to surnames. What sort of surnames do dwarves normally have?
Well, where I come from, traditionally, it is a precious metal and like an adjective to do with a precious metal. And I would like to not sound like I come from where I come from.
Okay. Do you know what other strongholds sound like? Do they follow a similar convention with different things? Like,
Yeah, I think
like
it is
Punch Rock
largely.
or whatever it is?
There
I
are
don't know.
Punch
I'm no good
Rocks.
with dwarf names.
There are Swift Feet. There are, I
I
believe,
think I knew a
there
dwarf
is-
called Forge Sun one time.
Yes, yeah, it's very we're not imaginative people. It is very earth-based and action-based.
I see. Now, are any of those names powerful enough to come after you if you claim them?
Some.
Don't choose those ones. Pro tip.
Yeah, cool. I think if we're going vague, there's a lot of sword hammers. There's a lot of, chisel rocks.
What about Brunhilde Deep Delver?
I do like the sound of that.
Or are the Deep Delvers some particularly powerful dwarven family I'm not familiar with?
No, I think they're kind of non-eventful, which is
Wonderful.
nice.
Wonderful. Well, that's exciting. So now you have a starting point. The next step is to build the character, find letters of reference from other Deep Delvers, letters from, relatives, distant cousins, those sorts of things. Ones which my forgery kit survived the ship. No, I rebought my
No,
forgery
yeah,
kit.
you got new ones.
ones which perhaps could be acquired through circuitous means rather than simply writing to a deep delver and getting them to write back.
Interesting.
I have to say, I love that I have no idea how much of what Dagmar's saying is true and how much she is testing her ability to deceive Vetericus at this point.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
She'll never tell.
Entirely fair.
But
Well,
she
she's
has
been-
found a little bit of a mentor and aspirational figure, I think.
And Vetericus
Yeah.
loves talking about his craft, so that's all good.
Yeah. Thank
At this
you
point,
for the advice.
Well,
You've given me lots to think about.
That's his book. He's been taking notes in, and he stands up. I think I might have forgotten to tell you guys an important piece of information I got.
That doesn't sound like you.
I know, right? I have a lot on my mind. Literally.
Please continue that sentence.
Oh, yes. When I was talking to my thesis supervisor, Izud, he did mention that we are having what is known as soul blending. And that it's probably going to kill us if we don't get this out of our heads.
Oh, so it's worse then.
Yes,
Good.
much worse than we originally thought.
Great.
Good. Was there a
That's
time
it.
frame on that?
Yes. As soon as possible, we should get Zarata into her other soul vessel and out of ours, because it's going to kill us.
So,
Right.
as soon as
Yeah,
possible,
sorry.
as in down the path of deadly, deadly danger, or can we?
Look, it's up to you.
It's up to him.
No. No,
I feel
no,
like
you
I
mean
don't
that.
have enough information to make this informed decision. I'm gonna kick that one back to the secret keeping wizard.
I do not keep secrets. I forgot to tell you.
I like that one. I'll have to remember that.
Look, as a dwarf with ADHD, I respect that.
Look, I'm usually pretty good with this stuff. I have a lot on my mind.
Yep. No. Good. I understand. I did wake up feeling a little bit weaker today than normal. Did anyone else feel a bit funny in the morning?
I had this weird dream about getting married.
I had a weird dream about lightning, but I think that's PTSD.
That's definitely PTSD.
But I have felt weaker since yesterday.
I've definitely felt stupider, but that's probably just because I'm hanging around you, Terrence, isn't it?
Hey. I'll have you know. Oh no, never mind. I just looked at my intelligence score. Ignore that.
Listen here. Anyway, we've come to
I've got it written down on a piece of paper.
we've come
That's
to
right,
literally
I'm
a proverbial fork in the roads.
Oh, that's fancy. I should get a bit of paper with mine.
Is it mentioned to me how, I don't remember, did he mention how long-ish he thought we might have? I think I wrote it down if he did talk about it.
No, I don't think that came up.
He was like urgent.
His wording
Yeah, he
did
was
make
like,
it seem
get
kind of
that- get
urgent,
that out
as
of
an
your brain.
out-of-character noticing thing.
But you get the impression that you're likely to deteriorate a little each day. And it's possible it's already starting to affect your abilities.
So we could take the dangerous path and maybe die. Or we can take the long, safe path and maybe die.
Yes.
We're all fine with that. Cool. Okay.
That's the long and short of it, isn't it?
Well, I guess we should take the exciting route and maybe die.
Just looking at the map.
Well, do we have a sense of how long it would take us to get across to Fern Glen? Is that like a day or two?
The trip to Fern Glen through Mercer's Pass looks like it's 2 days of travel, so you would have to make
Plus
camp
monsters.
halfway through.
Okay.
But you also think that the trip from Romsey to Mirror's Reach would also take 2 days, maybe one and most of a second day. So you would have to make a camp somewhere on Duck Road also.
I'm sorry, did you say Duck
Okay.
Road?
Duck
Yes.
Road.
Duck Road.
Oh, cute.
Blank.
And it's going to take us, I'd imagine, the rest of the day to get to Golden Ford, another day to Rivermeet.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So you think 3 days via Mercer's Pass, at least 5 days for the longer route, maybe longer if because there are more things that could happen to you on the way there.
Yes,
Just
the
more,
encounter table.
more towns to pass through.
We have already passed a absolutely insane halfling and his weird friends. So
Yes, more speaking stones to liberate.
It's called a sending stone, but go on.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah,
you're quite correct.
he's probably got it wrong because you remember what he rolled on recognizing that thing.
I see a solid one. It was just a
still
lucky
thinks
one.
it's a pebble.
A rock,
Yeah.
yeah. I made up sending stones, they're not real.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just playing along.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, then, shall we test our metal, comrades, and go through Mercer's Pass?
I mean,
should we do a
we'll see
vote?
if-
Toss a
Try.
coin?
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea. There's 4 of us, even numbers, unless the Goanna votes.
Glow counts as another person.
Zarasa, do you have any thoughts to contribute here?
Oh, hello. Well, if you all die, I really don't know what will happen to me. So, faster might be better? But
Looks like
if you all die, I really don't know what will happen to me. So, safer might be better.
Cool. Well, both options have death as like a pretty significant risk at this point.
clear as mud.
Well,
Right.
as much as I would love to visit some of these other towns, there will be time later on, so I vote Mercer's Pass.
I vote it too.
Me as well.
Whoa, yeah.
How does the goanna feel?
Hungry.
Nibbling on my ear or something.
Good for the little buddy.
Yeah.
Actually, you think the goanna might be in a state of sort of semi-hibernation. It's been quite well fed these past few days, and so it's content to just rest on this mobile tree for now.
Comfy.
He's a smart boy. Or girl. We don't know what gender that. Or neither.
Look, the Goanna hasn't told us how they
Non-binary
identify, and we're just gonna go with they.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Do they have a name yet? Have you decided?
Oh, I was thinking about it. Oh no. Gotta
We'll
think of
find
something.
it.
Think of something that feels right, you know.
Respectable.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, let's go
Left.
into the path on the map marked danger! Exclamation point.
Great.
I mean, we fought
They-
spiders. How much more dangerous could things be around here?
I mean, the
That's a-
spider nearly killed you.
Yeah,
but-
We
that thing-
were. It's a good point. We did die.
But I lived,
I will-
and that's the important part.
He was a kebab for a bit there.
we have health potions. We're good.
Indeed.
I guess
Maybe-
it's only.
Maybe danga is the dwarven word for safe.
I mean, it's not, but
Danga. It's written just like danger.
I forgot that Aussie could speak Dwarvish too, by the way. We can have chats.
whenever you want to have a private conversation, I'm right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
All
Shall
right.
we
Well,
stride
Yes, we
into the
started-
unknown?
Yeah.
I
We
would like.
were warned about bone monsters, right? We have been told about bone monsters.
There is something about bones or creatures that are made of bones or that have bones, which is a lot of creatures, but the
Yeah,
bones
we've all
seemed
got bones.
bones seemed worth mentioning, which is not something you normally point out when you see a humanoid.
Well, at least
So-
they're not viscous and sluggy.
Yeah, no killer squid on Mercer's Pass then.
Thank God.
That we
There's no
know of.
dangerous squid.
That would be
Or dangerous
telling.
bananas.
Probably low on mollusks.
Alrighty, let's
I
go.
think it could be squid
it.
with bones on the outside, man. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Dagmar is going to draw her bow just as a precaution as we set off.
All right.
Let's re-establish your marching order for Mercer's Pass.
I mean,
well,
I'm
I was walking in the front.
I'm just sauntering, but I've got long legs, so I'm probably near the front as well.
I feel like it's both. I have scouting abilities and the shortest legs, so it just seems right that I am setting the base.
I think order on the map is good. Vitericus is happy to be at the back, or
Yep, always.
Looks after the rear.
By the way, Dagmar, what is your speed?
Let me double check. 25 feet.
So you are slightly slower.
Only a
than
little
the
bit.
rest of the party.
It makes sense.
Okay.
Bet you she goes though when she's got a fright, like a goanna.
Oh yeah, my acrobatics is +6. So.
The next question is, as a group, are you going to be moving at a normal pace? Are you going to be moving at extra fast so you can make you can travel further in the same amount of time, but you might miss spotting some important things as you go. It'll make perception rolls and so forth harder.
Is there
Or
a
do you
power
want-
walking setting?
Or no.
Yeah.
That's basically what the fast thing is. It's like a forced march almost. Or do you want to go slow and move stealthily?
Well, Dagmar's kind of setting the pace. What are you doing? Are you going sort of with the stealthy, or are you double timing?
I feel like it was established that time was a strong factor.
Okay, so
In
we're
our
all feeling
decision.
brisk.
So yeah, I feel like I am walking quickly
Hmm.
in an
Right.
attempt to get this over with.
There you go. We're double timing.
You can always take the path back and check for extra goodies on the way if you need to.
I
Assuming we all survive. Like,
I was gonna say, I don't know if we're gonna want to do that. I
Gonna say,
got this
we've-
feeling.
We've literally just been told that we've got a terminal illness, so yeah, I'm walking briskly.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna have Glow sit on Vatericus's shoulder and look backward.
fun.
Has Vatericus got any problems with Bird? Have we covered this?
No, but I feel like I tried to pat Glow at least once, and Glow bit my finger. So,
He
Right.
absolutely would bite you, yes.
Yeah. So I just ignore it completely now.
Well, with
Don't
it
touch
that close to your ears, I'd be a bit nervous.
It's all right. I have Mage Hand on like speed dial, basically,
All right.
ready to swat it away if I need to.
Don't you dare.
Okay, I just need to double check what the rules are for moving at at a quick pace, because I don't want to get this wrong. I don't want to be unfair to you.
I'm extremely excited to just run headfirst into something horrible.
I mean, we've had pretty good luck with our face just like destroying things with unkind words. So like, if we meet some Skellymans, he'll have some words for them, I'm sure.
He did do a number on those water zombies
Mm-hmm.
with
They
like sheer demotivation.
absolutely flashbacks to high
Oh.
school. Those
All
poor
about that
buggers.
disadvantage.
No trouble.
Okay, Player's Handbook. I should have been looking there all this time. There we go. Movement. It's all available on D&D Beyond. Not a sponsor of the show.
Yeah.
And yet
Hashtag
they
not
carry us so
sponsored.
far.
Okay. So, yes, at a fast pace, you will have a -5 penalty to all perception scores.
Oof, that's a pretty big penalty. Not that I'm very perceptive anyway, so like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's pretty minimal.
So you make your way towards Mercer's path, having turned left at this junction in the road. Now, at this point, the path you're traveling is much like the path you're on. You don't see anything yet that suggests that there's anything unusual about this road. You've got green fields and trees about, and rolling hills around. Can I get Dagmar up the front to give me a perception roll, please? -5.
How do I do it with minus?
Just roll it in -5.
It's -5, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I have to use the old maths thing.
Maths.
Oh god. 8. So.
what happens if you roll and go into the negatives?
Yeah, no, it was a 3.
Just underflow perception.
And I'll get one other person to also roll
I'll do it.
perception. Either, yeah, go ahead.
I'm up the front there with.
Oh, I do
With
have Glow
Dag as
looking
well.
backwards as well. So
Oh, yeah.
All right, I rolled a 19, so -5 is
14.
14. Yeah, I got a degree in this, you know.
Okay,
Yeah, you're the
and
tall people.
give me a roll for glow, please.
Okay, she has advantage on anything to do with sight. She's +1.
And I'm thinking glow probably won't get the -5 penalty because glow must have a faster move speed than you would have. What is glow's fly speed?
That and she's
Plus,
not even.
plus, speed is. I have.
Because
it.
glow is either flying or sitting on your shoulder.
Yeah,
she's
she's sitting
not
on a
going
chair.
anywhere. She is perfectly still and able to view everything.
She has a fly of 60 feet.
No problem. Yeah, glow has no penalty. She's normally sitting around waiting for you lot to catch up. So this is finally approaching her pace.
Okay, thank God she rolls with advantage on this because she got a 1.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Wow.
And a 13.
13.
Yeah, 12 plus 1.
Wow.
Okay.
More perceptive than the owl. How does that work?
Yeah, well, Dagmar and Morzod, you don't see anything unusual ahead of you as you're walking the path. Glow does glance something to the north of where you all are. You get the impression, Aussie, that Glow has spotted a large bird.
Immediately push her back to my shoulder.
Yeah.
Glow said there's a.
The bird just disappears off my shoulder.
Yeah. Glow said there's something up ahead.
Is she,
Bird?
Like what?
say
She
what?
said a big bird.
To the
big
north. To the north, so it's to your right because you're traveling west. You're
does
traveling
she-
west.
How big? We like Diaprodidon big or?
Does she tell me? She's
Big.
this very small bird. She said big. I think the fact that she could
Well-
see it from here probably means that it's quite sizable.
Dag, you
Uh,
best ready them arrows.
Give
My
me.
bow is in my hand.
Also, you can give me a perception check without the penalty because you've got a rough idea from Glow of where to look now.
18.
18, very nice. You do see,
Oh, with my elf eyes.
with your elf eyes, you do
Good
see
lord.
the profile looks like it might be an eagle, but give me a nature check.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's higher
it's
than
not-
I thought it would be. I had a high intelligence. 12.
12. It looks like an eagle.
Looks
And
like
it
an
is certainly big. It's very hard to tell because it is up in the sky, but
Holy crap, it's a wedgie. It's going to pick Dag up and take her away.
given the
Don't feel great about
size, given how much haze there is, you'd expect it to be smaller given how far away you think it is.
It's either really, really big or really far away. I'm not sure.
This bird is very large.
I don't have 20/20 vision. I'm not going to be the best at this.
It'll be fine. It's a bird. Just keep going.
I'm going
Don't
to
look
adjust my
appetizing.
hat and try and look even smaller as I charge on ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe hold someone's hand or something in case it eats you that long.
Yeah, look, if I go up in the air, someone better grab these ankles. It's been
Okay,
well
you-
established that eagles like to carry dwarves.
Very well established. I've read many tomes.
You carry on. Is someone going to keep an eye on the large bird as you travel?
I think that little baby Glow is terrified and is going to keep an eye on it because it's so
Okay.
much bigger than he is.
So you continue westward. After a short time, just give me another perception roll from Glow, please.
I'm going to put her back on Vaterica's shoulder as well. She's
Sure.
like digging in with her talons. She's scared. Be nice.
Which shoulder, by the way?
Left.
Of course, left. Terribly
Ooh,
dominant hand.
she got a nat 20 on that one. I'll roll
Wow.
with it. I don't
Okay.
think she's gonna get better than that.
Yes. Yeah. Glow communicates to you, Orsi, that the very large bird is closer and is very, very, very large indeed. And are you able? You can't Can you see exactly what Glow sees?
If I look through her eyes, if not, it's
Yeah.
just her like telling me.
Well, I'll let you decide if you decided to do that just then.
Can I just look up or to the north?
Okay. You look to the north and you do see this large bird coming closer. And one thing that that Glow also communicates to Aussie is that there are more birds with the big bird. And now that you're looking and now that it's larger and closer, you can see, yes, there is a very large eagle and there are more birds that are they almost look like flies compared to this large bird. But you realize that they might be regular sized birds flying along with it. It's this very strange flocking behavior where you have this enormous bird that you're starting to think might be the size of a town, but there are other birds flocking with it.
You know, I was gonna ask if we were like Shadow of the Colossus big, but now I'm... Oh.
Yeah, look, I'm not... But you guys are seeing this, right? Are there any trees around here? Maybe we should get underneath some cover.
I will let anyone who is proficient in either Arcana, Nature, or Religion to choose one of those to roll to try to determine what this is.
I have a +5 in nature.
Oh, kick it, Arcana.
The only one of those I've got is Nature, and I've got a -1 on that. So
I rolled a 1. Aussie doesn't know shit.
Okay.
Because I'm a filthy bard and therefore a jack of all trades, I'm half proficient in all of those things.
Go ahead. Just choose one, whichever one you and
which ones are they? Nature, religion, or Arcana? They're all +1.
Do religion. Do religion. I just did Arcana and he did Nature, so
I
might be
rolled
wrong.
a 20.
You're gonna look at the bird and go, Jesus Christ!
Nah, that's a 5 from Vatericus. He's like, it's a big bird. Is
none
the
of
big
us have
bird
seen
God?
this big bird
Yes.
before.
Dagmar
Okay.
got a 20 in nature.
Oh
All right.
shit!
Holy shit, you've seen that bird before.
Because you
And that's-
I
chose
live underground.
You live
but-
underground, yeah.
because you chose Nature, that made it the DC a little higher, but because you got 20, that's just enough.
Dog.
So Dagmar, you know very little about birds because you don't get a lot of them underground, but since coming up to the surface, you've been a little bit fascinated by these things in the sky that fly, which is, you know, basically like aliens to you. And you've been learning a bit about not just birds, but titans that appear to be birds. And it's at this point that you suddenly remember, isn't there a titan that's a thing of legend that appears as a giant bird? That's all you can think of at the moment.
I'm gonna have a deep, full body cringe. And then I'm going to turn to the others and say, oh shit, it's a titan.
Like one of the gods. Like an actual titan.
Yep.
Which one?
I
Which
don't
one?
know.
Furiously gonna flick through my books.
Okay, give me...
Is it
Also, you can give me an intelligence... no, make it a history check. Yeah.
Sure.
Now that you've got an idea of what you're looking for.
I rolled another nat 1.
Wow,
Your
you've no
dice
idea.
today, though.
You really did
He's-
lose some intelligence there.
He really
think-
did.
You think it's probably not Gemdanen, but that's pretty much all you know.
Definitely not Genda. That's-
The one we saw in the ocean. That is a
Yes.
solid call.
Thank you. Very smart wizard.
Also,
You've been so much sweeter since you lost intelligence.
I will say, Dagmar, that also with your role, it doesn't look to you like it's hunting in particular. It just seems to be happily riding the thermals at this point.
Cool.
Oh, so the bird's
So
just chilling.
You feel like it's probably not a threat, or at least not a threat to you.
Okay. I think if we just keep walking and don't do anything that might anger the giant skybird god, we might be okay?
Why isn't
Oh,
it
it's just gonna
Titans the
draw
angry
it.
bit?
Oh, Glow is doing like the full owl like poof. Make herself look bigger.
Big bird.
Which means I
Yes,
assume her
like-
claws have dug in even deeper into my shoulder at this point.
Oh yeah,
Owl.
And-
you're getting
Absolutely.
maximum bird right now.
And actually, Vitericus, I should let you do a history check also to try and work out whose Titan that is.
Solid +1 from Vitericus.
Hmm.
And that's a 6 total.
Oh, we are
Nope.
killing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Solid dice.
Shit, our two smarts have gone dumb.
This is when the DM gets a bit frustrated because you're now missing out on all this exposition, but never mind.
I want to
This is like in a speed run where they kill that NPC that you spent hours and hours writing backstory for, and you just
Oh my
shank.
god. I have a +1
Alright.
Arcana and History, and I rolled like a 1 and like a 5 or whatever it was. This is
That's
ridiculous.
usually us in Space Disaster. It's like I'm this giant muscular lizard, and then I roll ones on everything. I'm like, look, I promise I'm good.
Look,
all right,
look, look.
it's fine.
I'll
We'll-
take a note. I'll take a note, and
Yeah.
then we'll ask someone. I'll write a letter. Someone at the academy will know, I'm sure. I mean, who is it? Desmina is the god, the Panopticon, right? What's her name?
Yes, Desmina is the goddess of communities and revolution and equality.
Right.
What a good egg.
And we never. And that's her power, the Panopticon.
The crystal above the Panopticon is her power.
Is her power?
And
Okay.
you don't know what her Titan is. That hasn't been revealed to you.
Never even
Power,
asked.
power, vessel, and Titan. Was that the law? The three things.
Power, persona,
Yeah,
and Titan?
There's the power, the persona, and the Titan.
Right.
The persona is the god as an individual person, and you believe you've been led to believe that the person of Desmina lives in Providence somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah, look, I'll take a note, and we will ask someone if we get through this
Cool.
pass.
Well,
fine.
from what I know about birds, which take that with a grain of
Do tell. Yes, please.
just don't get its attention. Just
Is that how birds work, is it?
maybe look. I live in a cave.
Look at my poor familiar. She's all upset.
Let's keep moving
Yep.
so that she can stop looking at the giant sky beast.
It's really freaking her out, isn't it, Vitericus?
I feel
she's not
similar.
having a good day.
Let's just
Okay.
keep going.
You want to maybe dismiss her for safety?
No. I don't.
Of course not. Good, let's carry on.
You carry on, and for the next hour or so, this enormous bird, this Titan, seems to just be sort of circling in the distance and eventually fades further and further and seems to be heading northward somewhere.
Well,
Big
calm
yikes,
down.
though. Big yikes.
So I'll need one last perception check from our two in the lead and Glow as the vanguard.
Alrighty, let's.
Is this with
proceed.
-5?
Yes, still with -5.
We still walk
11.
briskly.
Okay, 11 from Dagmar.
Oof! I rolled a 6, so I got 1. I'm not paying attention.
Mm.
I'm thinking real hard about what I'm going to call this lizard.
Having a
Ooh,
good
she
chat
got a
with
nat
Lorna.
20 and a 15, so 21 again. She got 2 nat 20s. Oh, my bird's rolling better than I am.
Wow.
Embarrassing.
Okay.
Good owl.
Usually it's the opposite.
Real bird hours.
So
Real bird
Glow
hours.
doesn't notice any threatening creatures or anything like that, but you're now on the map. You're now past Tranquil Grove. I'm moving Dagmar as your party marker, essentially. And you've come to... The road is now passing through this sort of a valley formed between two rises on either side of you. They're not mountains per se, but they are sort of hills in ridges. And as you're reaching this point, you find that the nature, the grass, the trees, they're all starting to look a bit sickly around here.
Can
The
we roll for
grass,
genre savvy?
the grass is starting to look a bit brown. The trees are lacking leaves, and it's looking a little Yeah,
Spooky.
this you've moved away from the lush, green, verdant landscape that you've enjoyed up to this point.
Has the background music changed?
The background music is there's a hint of tension. You've got just
Right.
the high violin,
Kind of violin, yeah.
yeah, single string
Yep,
going,
yep.
and then the music stops entirely, and it's just the wind blowing.
Oh crap.
And you notice no birds singing.
Ready for a quick
and
time event, friends?
And somebody says, "Do you hear that?"
Somebody said that.
Who said that?
I assume one of you will say.
Right, one of
If
us.
you're genre savvy, you'll have to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that. Zurasa says in your mind, "Do you hear that?"
You what's the answer?
Nothing.
Good.
It's quiet. Too
Too
quiet.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of that Simpsons episode where it's like the Mr. Burns, the alien one, and like the string section gets off the bus and they're like through the.
Oh man, my boss at work, his hobby is telling you how old your Simpsons references are. And man, it's
Man.
terrifying.
I'm a
I
90s
believe that one
baby.
is 1996. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's good. It was a good vintage.
Yep.
an excellent year.
Are we?
Um,
What
Can
time
I
is it? Sorry, by the way. Oh, sorry, Vitera, because you go.
No, I was just going to check sort of throw a maybe not quite seasoned eye over, but like have a look over the approaching terrain and seeing if there's anything obviously dangerous, like creatures moving in the tree line or the
Are the one
trees
you
have.
tweeted?
Well, yeah, the trees are all awakened and sort of flailing at us with dead, decaying limbs, that sort of stuff.
Have they got faces on? That's always a giveaway.
Yeah, angry faces.
Is it like the haunted forest from like Snow White?
Yeah,
So you're going to maybe move off the path and walk up to a tree and try and get a better look at it?
Yeah, just sort of inspecting it for sort of if whatever's killing them is contagious or.
Okay,
gonna
let's-
go with it.
Let's make this a nature check.
So,
You're trying to
that's
work out whether
because it's better.
gardening.
you're trying to work
Nature
out whether a tree is just a tree, basically.
That's true. All right, let's go. That is
Come on, Party
a
Druid, do it.
11.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like a sick tree.
Perfect.
There's no obvious sign. You know, it's not like there's a syringe sticking out of it. You don't see
Yep.
any symbols carved onto it. There isn't.
Not actively growling at him.
No, it's not making faces. It doesn't reach down and try to throttle you.
Yes. Okay, cool.
He gets
strong
that a lot.
signs.
This is the
no,
nicest tree you've ever met, to be honest.
Seems fair.
What time of
in
the
there.
day is it? Sorry.
It's now approaching sunset. It's
Oh, that's a brilliant time to be going into a place that has.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely
You
not
still-
a brilliant time. We
you
should
think you've
think
still got
about-
another couple of hours before sundown.
Should we make camp before we go into the death pass or after?
I mean, if we
How
do
long
it
is
after,
the
we
death
might not
pass?
have to make it.
Death pass. I could have just called it death pass. No. Mercer's
like
pass
that's
is
the
more ambiguous. I like ambiguous.
I'll send Aussie. I'm Aussie. I'll send Glow up just to do a flight.
So Glow sends Aussie up.
Yep.
It ends badly. Just
I'll
jumps
get
and
I'll
falls
get
down.
fly.
You know that guy at the start of Morrowind with the scroll?
Just you wait till I get boots of flight.
Just make
What's-
sure it comes down again.
What's Glow looking for?
She's just gonna do like a circle. Is there anything like scary?
Not in the immediate area. Nothing apart from what she's already observed in terms of the
I guess.
sick
Also,
landscape.
is there anywhere like a little like that would look good to make camp, like a covered less nightmare tree area, or
This is going to be a survival roll.
okay with
probably, I think it'll have to be from Glow because
Yes.
Glow is the one making the judgment call.
okay wisdom. Okay, she's got wisdom as an owl. Wisdom's +1. All right. Eight.
No, nothing that you can see anywhere
Aussie's never
nearby.
been camping before. He doesn't know what he's looking for.
Yeah, it's all basically sort of sloping hills and sick trees, and the trees don't really have enough leaves on them at the moment to provide shelter, you think?
I know I literally signed up for this, and this is my job, but I really miss my tower. I want to go home.
What was it?
I am. Look, I am also missing the protection of a cave right now, so I feel you.
Just think of all the experience you're getting.
Are we doing milestone?
There must be
it's
one
fine.
soon.
It's a night under the stars. You will survive. I have slept without a roof multiple times. And look,
Yeah,
I'm
me
still
too,
fine.
but it's usually in a ditch.
You'll turn out like
Kind
me.
of a
It'll be great.
ditch.
I'm
So the question-
slowly turning into you in terms of my intelligence, that's for sure.
So the question is, you still have a couple of hours left to travel. A couple of hours left of daylight.
Right, what
because
are we going to do?
These are relatively long days.
We should probably get further along the map. Otherwise, it'll take extra days to get through this.
Good point.
All right. Oh, we can, if we're not,
So I guess we should just
Push on.
continue
Press
on
on.
into the
Yep.
Death
So
Valley.
I assume you'll keep going until sunset, until the sun is down, unless you see something
Yeah.
unusual.
Scary.
Can
Okay.
I keep half an eye out for like a good camping site, like one that's not on a game trail or in a swamp or in the middle of a Rex nest?
Sure. Give
Okay,
me a survival check, please, Vetericus.
14, so not great, but not terrible.
14. Okay. You carry on as a group for another hour and a half. The sun is now quite low. You're into twilight. The sun is actually down below the horizon, but there's still enough light in the sky that you can see what you're doing. But you are thinking you should probably stop moving soon. And it's around this time that the valley is now turning into an actual valley. The ridges on either side are closing in, and you almost feel as though you've come to the mouth, per se, of this pass, of Mercer's Pass itself. So the road has just been a regular road, and you've now reached the entrance to Mercer's Pass for all intents and purposes.
I think because Aussie's scared, Glow is scared, so she's digging in her claws. So
Good.
again.
Great.
And Vetericus, you don't really see, like there aren't any caves or anything like that around here. But you do spot, just a bit off the road, you do spot what looks like an old campsite.
Okay, great.
Cool. It's not like a horror movie at all.
Yes. Do we want to
Are
check
there
that out
any
briefly, and then we'll?
bones?
Okay, give me just a investigation check to take a look at the campsite.
Okay.
Glow's going to go with him too. I'm going to look through her eyes and stay where I am.
Okay.
That's a 12.
Okay. It looks like a old, used and abandoned campsite. Probably, it's not recent, given there is a hearth in the center. There is actually a pile of dry wood stacked up, so it looks like this might be sort of a makeshift waypoint where travelers would routinely stop, make a campfire, and then the next morning it would be a tradition to then make sure there's a suitable supply of firewood for the next party to travel through. So it looks like you would not be the first people to stop here, and you don't find any bodies. You don't find any obvious signs of violence.
Perfect. I will relay that back to the team, and
What do you
I
call
guess
this?
suggest we make
Barbecue
camping.
area. Alrighty. Setting up.
Guess we go over, yeah.
Bedrolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fire pit and everything. Nice.
We should definitely take watches. Don't forget.
We should. It's true.
Videricus likes taking
There's not
watches.
like a yeah, no, I love it. There's not like just a loot abandoned somewhere at the campsite, is there? I can't imagine.
Lute as in a musical instrument,
Yeah,
or lute as in
LUTE.
loot?
No, like well, we're at a campsite, right? So I've got to do at least one anyway. Here's Wonderwall.
Oh my god.
I'm listening to like the tensest horror movie music in the background, and it's freaking me out. So I'm gonna stop doing that now.
Stairway.
So I'm waiting for someone to eat us, like some sort of fantasy Slender Man or something.
You know what? I am going to roll a d20 to see whether there is a loot, and there is a
Wonderful.
loot abandoned at the
What?
campsite.
Freaking what?
There's a slight crack in it. You think it might have been. You think somebody might have become frustrated while using it, but it might still sound okay.
How frustrated are we talking? Like London Calling frustrated? Or?
Still playable apparently. So you know.
Does Videricus play?
I'm apparently proficient with the loot. I just don't like it because it keeps my hands too busy in combat situations. /
He also plays the
charlatanry.
lyre.
I do play the lyre. It's true, and the gong.
Yep.
Could pretty much one man band it.
Amazing.
But I doubt there's a lyre here. Yeah, and I'm not really looking for one. So.
I mean, you're
don't
standing
bother.
right there.
They're not exactly portable instruments, are they?
No. It'd be a weird one to carry around as an adventurer, right? It's like a full lyre.
I mean, if it's like one of those, like from like
That's
Legend of
true.
Zelda, like hand lyres, like
Could be, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that's fine.
like the one Spock plays.
She had one.
yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
feel like
certainly better
Videricus
than.
would take like a full harp, though, right? Like just everywhere he goes, if he was playing it,
Concert harp. Yeah.
I mean,
drag
that's-
it around the whole time.
That's second only to like preferred instrument grand piano.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, well,
excellent.
If
You're going to play
If Videricus is going to play, I will need a performance check.
Okay.
Boy.
Well, I'm going to check the instrument, realize it's probably not quite up to Wonderwall. So I'm going to flip it over and go, well, anyway, here's Wellerman. And I'm just going to hit it and sing Wellerman. That is a 25.
Excellent.
Oh, it is a very impressive performance. It is. Yeah, you're all actually genuinely shocked at how well this individual sings. You know, he's always been a smooth speaker, but he is a softly, almost angelic voice. Videricus, as you're singing, the shades that you're used to seeing, occasionally following you, occasionally orbiting around you, you see more than usual are gathering as you sing, and you think they've all come, a dozen, maybe even more, to sit around the campfire and listen to you.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Stay a while.
Wonderful. I feel
wow.
trapped.
Videricus, that was not bad.
Thank you, my lord. I have certain skills.
There was a lad that could
I'm gonna
sing
have that
like
song
that.
in my head for like a week.
Aussie loves sea shanties. You
That's
got
true
him.
too, yes.
Hey, yeah, I knew someone who could sing like that back home. Yeah, you didn't have any nuts. That's why they like.
Good,
singer.
good. Well, I'll never tell. So
Good to know. And no one was going to ask.
I think as DM, I'd like to say no, castratos do not exist in my world. But at the same time,
Still could be a
at the
bar
same
story.
time, yeah,
Freak accident. Yeah, you never know.
What was it? Someone in 10 Things I Hate About You, she accidentally castrates a guy by kicking him in the nuts.
Oh my god, I don't know.
See that happen.
That was high school English. I can't think back that. That was a young Heath Ledger. Young.
okay, so ordinarily I'd probably work that into a song of rest, but if we're stopping for a long rest, we don't need to. Because we'll all get our hit points back anyway.
I
and
kind of
nobody
get the
anyone's
feeling
lost.
that we're going to need to roll for a long rest, though.
Yeah. We might
Maybe.
need to like do watches and stuff first. But I think
I
before
think we
everyone
all
goes
have our hit points anyway, don't we?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think-
we're all fine.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
the,
down a spell.
Diprotodon didn't get to do much.
He didn't get us. He kind of had a melting episode.
We
Hmm.
accidentally got really good at what we were doing.
Accidentally, the whole
See how bad my
Diprotodon.
rolls are this round? That's what happens.
Yeah, you spent it all.
That's it. It's gone.
So
What?
I
Now
will
Bone monster.
get you to work out your watches, as in who's going to be taking watch.
Look, I'll do the first one. I got night sight. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
mean, sit down
Yeah,
for
I'll go
4
after that.
hours. Then I'm fine. I can take 2 watches if Tarek is like your beauty rest.
You can't
Well,
see anything at night. You saw how
yes,
tripping over on the beach.
I lack the
Can't see shit.
genetic advantages that the rest of you have when it comes to dark sight. So I'm just going to have a real solid 8 hours.
I'll take 2 watches.
Okay. So Morzod offered to go first.
Yep.
So give me a. Do you have dark vision?
Dark or low light, one of the two. Half orc. Where is it? Features and traits. Dark vision. Yeah, full on.
Okay, cool.
Up to 60 feet.
But it's only to 60 feet, so it's still going to be a bit difficult to see anything beyond that. But give me a perception roll, please.
Alrighty, perception. Ooh, those dice are not terribly friendly today. I got a 9.
Okay. It all seems rather calm and peaceful out there. It is very quiet, except for I'll let your characters. I'll let you decide which of you snores.
Probably more so. Although probably more when he's had some to drink. If he's sober, he probably doesn't snore quite as much.
I feel like dwarves probably snore.
Oh my god.
I know I do, and I'm rather dwarf-like in my, general structure.
You got the beard going on. It's nice.
The beard and the stoutness.
Oh yeah.
Vitericus does a lot of tossing and turning, but I don't know that he snores necessarily.
Yeah,
Do any
Vitericus.
of his shades snore?
Vitericus, as you're trying to get to sleep, you are actually. It is a little bit harder because the shades who gathered around for your song are.
Won't shut up.
They are more vocal and more persistent than usual.
Having a good time.
You get the feeling they want something from you.
Encore.
But you
Encore!
give me an insight roll
Freebird!
as you're lying there going,
Play
I
some
just want to
scary.
sleep.
That is a 16.
16. Yeah. You can just make out from one of them a voice that seems to say, "Show us the way."
Sorry, you cut out for a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
I missed that.
I'll say it normally. It seems to say, "Show us the way."
Okay. Interesting.
Well, at least it didn't say the way is shut, because...
That would be unfortunate.
Yes.
Good. I'm going to sleep super well on that, obviously, and not at all stay awake for a couple of hours, sort of mulling it over.
Staring upwards.
Yeah, just staring at the
Mortified
stars.
look.
So, Morsod, you notice nothing. You don't even notice that Vitericus is having some trouble getting to sleep.
Yeah. I'm just kind of staring into space, thinking about lizard names.
And at the end of your watch, you can go and wake up Aussie.
Yep. All right. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna be gentle and just nudge him a bit. Hey, Aussie.
I think he's got like a sleeping beauty mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say the quilted thing with the
like a silk one.
Yeah, and is he got a cap to keep his hair nice? Because like.
Oh yeah, totally. Does
yeah.
like the paper bag like ringlets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, did we establish whether Aussie braids his own hair every morning?
Yes, he does. He takes it out every day.
Okay, I'd like to imagine this is what, since you've had your rest, I'd like to imagine this is what Aussie does during one of his watches.
Yeah, his hair's out. It's like way past his butt. He's got super long hair.
Oh, that's real pretty.
All right, my turn. Did you see anything?
No, it's all quiet. Very quiet.
All right. I've got dark vision to 60 feet, but glow has it to 120 feet as now.
Cool. Perception rolls from each of you, please. And without the penalty, because you're not traveling anymore. I should have mentioned that, but yeah.
Also got a 22.
Hey, there's our
That's
numbers.
nice.
Perception for advantage. Ooh. 16, 17, 18. 18. 19 and 18, I think it was. I don't remember.
Oh,
Well, I've been to
okay.
lockdown.
No, you said 22 for Aussie, wasn't it?
Okay,
Something
cool.
like that? Yeah.
I can't remember. It's already gone, man. It's numbers.
Hang on, we'll bring up the game log.
Oh, it was 22. It was 22, yeah.
It
You're
was,
right.
yes.
Literally on
Thank
my
you.
screen. Sorry.
Thank you, D&D Beyond.
I can't do
Yes.
Oh man, it
Um,
also in that log you can see that I'm rolling with the fancy dice. Have you seen? I've got the pretty ones. Yeah, I dropped the box all of it.
that. Nice.
Yeah.
So, Aussie, the moon is relatively bright tonight. So, while Glow is actually focusing on the areas closer to the camp and circling around a bit, you're more just sort of looking out into the distance, wistfully, examining the horizon. As you look towards the pass ahead of you, you see something in the far distance, probably hundreds of meters away. It doesn't seem to be coming towards you. It's something tall seems to cross from one side, one ridge to the other. And when I say tall, I mean 10, 15, 20 feet, something like that. You have these long, spindly legs and body
No, it's
on
a Fresno
top.
Nightcrawler. I love those things.
But it doesn't seem to be heading your way at this point.
Oh, I think he
Is
just
it
makes a
Alex?
note in his book. Ooh, eyes for this. Ooh, just scary. I don't know what to do. Gosh.
Just writes a big, frowny face in his.
Yeah, really sad. Really sad.
Dear diary. Nope, 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 nope.
Today I feel uncomfortable.
I like that you think he's writing in a diary. It totally is.
I mean, that's what Mozart assumes it is.
Yeah, he's going to take out his little, his smallest book and write a note about the monster he's just seen.
And
Do I have to do
if
another
you
roll?
if you continue to just sort of, because you've already spotted it, if you just sort of glance at it, you can see that it moves away and disappears into the distance.
Like, towards the area that we're probably going to be going to? Cool.
Yes, seems to be heading down the pass.
Cool. Love that.
And now for your second watch, please give me another perception roll for both yourself and Aussie.
I'm
He says,
awesome.
addressing the owl.
And Glow.
Glow.
Yes, I was speaking to
Really?
Glow.
Oh, excuse me. Well, Aussie got a 14 and Glow got a 11. 14 and an 11.
Okay. Your second watch passes without incident. You don't seem to see anything else or hear anything else.
Cool. He's going to finish up braiding his hair. Probably took him 4 hours to do.
Oh, no way. He'd be super fast at that crap.
It's got to be precision.
Yep.
Precision
It is
braiding.
real fancy. But, I mean,
And
how
as-
many years has he been
18
doing that
feet
for?
of hair.
That's so much hair.
And by the time the sun rises, the hair is braided, and the rest of you wake up, and we are going to take a short break now, and we'll be back in a moment for the second part of travel through Mercer's Pass. We'll be
Slender
right
Man.
back. And we're back. So our players have had their long rest. They've successfully made camp and not been ambushed during the night. And they're now, the sun has just risen, and it is now the second day of their travel through Mercer's Pass. Open brackets, danger, exclamation mark, close brackets.
Hit my long rest button. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I should do that. Long rest button! Take.
Did anything
roll.
horrible happen to us in terms of do we have to roll the d6 or something?
Why
Thank
would you
you.
say that?
Thank you so much. I had in
Teacher,
fact
there's homework.
Shit.
I had in fact forgotten. Everybody, please roll a
I thought you were
1d4.
For dramatic
1d4
effect.
each.
You did lose a wisdom. That was a thing that happened.
Okay. No, I lost an intelligence point. Wait, have I also lost a wisdom point? No.
Crap.
Wait,
I
what?
rolled a 4.
I thought
Maybe
you lost
you've lost
something
2 points.
No, I lost a
Yeah.
dex point. That's what I did.
Oh.
Yes, that's right.
And I was
I rolled
upset because I had
4.
really high dex.
Yeah, I rolled a 2.
It's a
I
2.
got a 3.
Aussie, what did you get?
I got a 3.
3. Okay. Dagmar, please roll 1d6.
Oh shit.
And Vitericus, I'll need you to roll 1d6 also.
Now it's your turn.
Not my beloved charisma.
Got a 5.
Okay, Dagmar, your wisdom goes down by 1 point.
Thank the gods, it's a 1.
Your
Oh.
strength, Vitericus, goes down by 1 point.
There
Shit,
goes
my
that
wisdom's
muscle.
already -1. -2.
-2 to my strength stat. I'll take it.
Oh, Terrica's sort of buff, baby.
No, not at all. Strength, I think 9 to start with, maybe.
Big
Um,
scary lightning strength. My strength is -1, so.
And
now I'm strength -2.
Aussie, when you woke from your short sleep before you took your watch, you've a vague memory of a dream. You're in a completely unfamiliar place, but it felt familiar while you were there. You're just remembering it as, wait, I've never been to that place. Why did it feel so comfortable? There's these marble floors, lots of very curved, sort of circular geometry everywhere. Almost like my background art. And but sort of marble and stone and like some precious metals as well worked into it. And there's a human. They look quite old, but quite strong and fit despite the wrinkles. And he's wearing what looks like ceremonial armor covered in gold and very ornate patterns, and it looks very regal, you'd have to say. And they are in fact wearing a circlet that you would think would be the probably a casual crown. Like you've got the big stupid over the top crowns that they only wear for when in public, because they're so damn heavy, they're never going to wear them the rest of the time. And most of the time they just, a king would just wear a little circlet to say, by the way, I am the king. And so you're meeting up with this, very regal looking person, all in gold. And they say to you that, it has to be this way. It's the only way that, if it's the only way that you're going to learn how to, improve these things, then, it's okay. And you don't have to worry. All of the people that are being used for this are very bad people. They tried to hurt me, he says to you. And as soon as you hear that, you go, oh yeah, only bad people would try to hurt your friend. So it's going to be okay to do all of these experiments on them. And that's all you remember from the dream.
That's rough. Sorry. So cute. Ah, dang. So, okay.
So, subconscious moral compass.
Morzod, you wake feeling no different.
Right.
Good for Morzod.
Much the same as usual. And none of you rolled a 1, so none of you lost any hit points, any maximum hit points. So
God.
there's that much at least.
Yay!
I feel like after Austin finished braiding his hair, he would write down his dream in a book. The small book.
And
Do I keep my neg 1 max hit points from last time round?
Yes, that is still there.
Okay, cool.
These
Yes,
are
sir, you are
cumulative.
dying.
These penalties are cumulative.
Great. It disappeared on the long rest, so...
Bad D&D Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored at all.
Perfect.
Okay, the sun is up.
Alright.
You are all conscious. The day is yours.
Hmm.
Mercer's pass awaits.
I look with a little bit of envy towards Aussie's beautiful braids and put my hat over my somewhat disheveled braids.
Hey, did Aussie tell us about his Fresno Night Stalker that he saw?
Not yet, no.
I think he's still like not
Processing?
100% with it. Yeah. I think he's sitting. I think he's made tea. I think Aussie's made tea.
Ah, Billy T. That's absolutely what you want.
He's just sitting there drinking it.
Let's see.
Yeah, I saw a big thing. By the way,
What kind of big thing?
Another one of those diaprodies?
no, it was a lot bigger.
Hmm.
Not as
Was it
big as a
good?
type, no. But it was like really gangly and like I will show them that really as good as a drawing as he could make.
Mm.
What is his draftsmanship like? Like, did
Oh,
he?
he's really good.
I was gonna say, did he take a natural history class and you can do like the detailed birds and stuff? Or...
Oh, for sure. He's just a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
science boy.
Mm.
And this is basically just a silhouette anyway.
It's just like gangly. It's what was described. Yeah, it was kind of walking in the direction that we're gonna have to go.
Oh,
Great.
Good.
How
I
much
don't
of a head
know.
start does it have?
It had really long legs.
how many?
How many legs did it have? Could I tell? 4?
At least 2, probably more than 2.
At least.
I don't like that.
Oh, I kind of don't want to go.
Well, I guess we can't live here.
No. We could always walk back to Golden Ford, but I feel like that costs us another day.
Well, I've lost a wisdom point, so I'm an even bigger dingus than I was yesterday.
Morzot feels fine.
Yeah. Slipped all right.
Well,
Wonderful.
Let's
On then.
get it over with.
Okay. Same marching order, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
No longer entirely voluntarily from Vitericus, given strength dropped by another point overnight. So he is feeling much weaker than normal.
You just put so much into that performance.
And are you continuing to travel at a fast pace, or are you traveling at a normal pace?
I think we should.
What do we think?
I think we're all a bit nervous, and we probably would go a little bit slower. I'm
I
feeling.
agree. We should probably slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just,
Okay. Well, I shall get the 2 in front and Glow behind.
Get
to-
perceptive.
Yeah, to give me some perception checks, please.
Perception dropped.
Whoa! Okay, that was a natty 1. So 3 total.
I got
Morzot
14.
is so oblivious this episode. Just like still thinking, what would be a good name for a lizard?
I mean, it's extremely on brand.
Yes, very.
14 for Glow.
Yeah,
Okay.
14 for Dagmar as well.
All right, you proceed through the pass, and as you go through the valley, you can start to see where some of the talk of bones is coming from. You're not actually seeing, at this point so far, you're not actually seeing bones, but you are seeing that there must have been lots of these hills must have been covered in lush green trees at one point, but you've now reached a point where all the trees are dead. There is no grass, and the trees, most of them have fallen down and are lining the hills, pointing down towards the valley, and they've been bleached white. So it does almost look like a valley of bones at this point. But as you move further in, it's just a dry dirt. All of the plant life is dead. You're starting to see rocks sticking up through the soil, and they are strangely shaped rocks. These are not sort of the smooth, lichen-covered boulders that you'd expect to find. These are actually sharp and angular. and even the path that you're on is broken in places. At some points, it'll come to a shallow pool of stagnant water. At other points, there are now rocks protruding up through the path, which nobody in their right mind would have a path, lay down a path that goes straight into a stone. So it must have appeared since the path was driven out. So this rock seems to have just erupted from the soil because it hasn't fallen from anywhere.
Creepy.
While we walk, I'd like to ritual cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
I feel like Dagmar would be alive to what the heck these rocks are doing.
Wait, we have to sit down, and I cast it, and I don't have it up as we walk.
Okay.
Okay, so we want to stop.
Just for 10 minutes. Oh, maybe I don't know. Can we retrofit that and say I cast it before I leave? It's up to you.
Well, at this point, because you're going to be traveling through the pass for hours, so you have to sort of choose: are you going to cast it as soon as you start moving, or it would take about half an hour for the landscape to change to this point.
I just realized that. So no.
So once you've seen just how dead everything is, you pause to cast it.
Yeah, if everyone doesn't mind, we just sit down for 10 minutes.
Dagmar,
Go for it.
Dagmar, do you want to try and give me a check to learn a bit about these rocks? I think
I do. I also, what is it? I have stone cunning as well.
Yeah. Okay. And
Heck is that?
Whenever I make an intelligence check related to the origin of stonework, I'm considered proficient in the history skill and add double my proficiency bonus to the check.
okay. Well, I was going to ask for history or nature, so let's. You
Let's
can
do
make it.
history.
You can make it history then.
So I'm already +1. Does that mean I'd be a +2?
Yes.
Oops, shit, wrong one.
So just roll it and then add it, in your head.
Whoops, sorry, did that wrong.
Or on your fingers.
History. I
That's
got an 11, so it'd be a 12.
Okay. With the blacksmith's dice pack. Cool.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. So something is very off about these rocks, but you can't really tell what. They haven't been worked, but these are not natural shapes. Something has warped them, and you're not sure what.
Cool, so these rocks have bad vibes.
Mm.
On a scale of 1 to nope, how freaked out is she by this?
That's for Dagmar to say. I will say you have never seen anything like this before, Dagmar. And you grew up surrounded by stone.
Yeah, she's seen a lot of rocks.
I am a very rocky person. Yeah, I'm unsettled. I am suddenly less chill about sitting here for 10 minutes, but I'll let Aussie do his thing.
Okay, about halfway through, while Aussie is performing the ritual casting, sorry, just checking one thing. Yes, okay, about halfway through, Dagmar, you start to hear something, which the rest of you hear pretty quickly also, but Dagmar notices it first. Aussie, you're probably preoccupied with the ritual casting.
Yeah.
You hear and it's coming towards you.
So there's some maniacal laughing coming towards us.
There is some maniacal laughing, maybe a little bit of crying as well.
Sounds like one of the bugs from Hollow Knight, so I'm not sure how I feel about this.
I feel negatively.
Negative?
I guess we prepare. I mean, Aussie's sort of out of it at this stage, ritual casting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I guess we can't just pick him up and carry him off.
I think you probably object.
I'd love to
Yeah.
see you try.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
4
with
feet
-2
tall.
strength. So I guess we set to defend.
Yeah, let's form a flank.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you group up, look, I'll put you on a map and you can tell me how
Oh
you're setting
boy,
up.
you've got a map. You know
I've
what that
got a
means,
map.
friends.
I picked the perfect place. Sit down.
You sat down right on an event trigger.
The good news is you don't actually have to finish the ritual.
Oh, to find sources of magic? Cool.
Because it's become blindingly obvious. Well, this looks cheerful.
So assume we've got Aussie in the middle and the three of you can position yourselves around Aussie as you'd please.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
that's
good
fine.
where I am.
So I'm
Oh,
like
that's-
5 minutes into the ritual.
Yep.
Which direction is the laugh crying coming from?
Ahead of you.
So left?
Yes, left on the map.
We're moving. Yeah, cool. Okay, yes, I'm on the right side then. Behind Aussie.
What's that big red thing? Is that like a puddle or?
That is a puddle of water that smells
Okay.
foul and has a
Nasty.
slightly browny reddish colouring to it.
I mean, that just means it's the Yarrow or something. But
That's for our Australian viewers.
it flows upside down, right?
Are we grabbing our weapons?
I'm definitely holding the mace.
Okay.
My
Coming-
my bow is feeling itchy.
Coming-
Sorry,
Yep.
I have a minor retcon for Vetericus from our session 0.5. I don't think he's actually pulled his weapons the whole time you've known him.
No, he hasn't.
No,
Oh,
he's only
no.
ever had the gong.
So only ever had the gong. He pulled out his rapier once on the boat, so I'd like to
Yeah.
retcon that he didn't actually do that since he missed horribly anyway.
Mozo
Okay.
probably assumes that the gong is his weapon.
Yeah, basically, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
I
Listen to-
assumed sharp words were your weapon,
Well, yeah, listening to how
Basically.
that bloke sings.
and that scary ghost hand.
Oh yeah, that thing.
So what does Vetericus do in this instance?
Ready's the gong.
Okay.
And some mean words.
Yeah, and starts thinking of insults.
Your
Um,
mother was a hamster? No, somebody's used that.
And there's sort of because you've got the slopes on either side, and it's at sort of a 30 to 35 degree angle, which isn't obvious on the map, but it's actually quite a relatively steep. And coming around, it's not so much a corner, but just a slight bend in the path ahead of you. You see a thing step out into the path. It is very tall. In fact, it looks to be about 15 feet tall. At the top of it, there is a flesh-coloured body with a head out the front and long, black, very ratty, tangled hair hanging down. It has 3 legs that you can see, 2 down the front, which are fleshy just for the first meter or so, and the rest of them it turns into just this huge long spur of bone, and it has a third like that coming out slightly to the side on the back, and it has another appendage on the other side on the back, but it comes down almost like a claw, and it's not as long as the others, and it's got sort of these talons on the end, and it's hanging down underneath the body of this thing, and it has this, looks like this big sort of distended belly just drooping down under this massive flesh up the top. But as it comes
It's not
around,
okay.
it looks up at the 4 of you, and you can see a vaguely humanoid face. In fact, it might have even been a human face, but its eyes are now big and bulging. They look like human eyes, but they have grown out and are sticking out of the face. And
I was planning on sleeping.
and the mouth has smile has sort of elongated, so it now has this massive jaw with these sharp razor sharp pointed teeth and fangs, and it looks at you and it goes and it starts striding towards you. And I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative, please.
We don't get to try and greet it first?
Woofed. That's a 6 for Vitericus.
And a 6 for
15.
Dagmar.
Roll
Shit.
initiative. 16.
Okay, 16 for... No, not 46.
Oh, I see. My new character.
And Aussie?
I got a 15, but I'm sure I'm out of it for this round. Anyway.
Yes, you probably are. And that is not the correct icon, so I shall just very quickly fix that.
I was going to say. It's got lovely red hair.
I think I forgot to actually... Yeah, I forgot to set up this, so I just very quickly need to upload an asset. I shall be with you momentarily. Let's get this... Let's switch... Get this
Sub
on the
in
screen
some
so that...
elevator music.
Cut to
an intermission screen.
Then cut back to
Monty Python curtains.
nerds.
Yep.
Mhm. Is Glow hanging out with you at the moment, Aussie, or is Glow sort
No,
of
she's still on your shoulder.
still on my
She's
shoulder?
embedded.
I would imagine has
Oh,
dug in a bit
no.
then at this stage.
Oh man,
Right.
I think I saw that thing in Half-Life. Do not want.
Good, good.
So there you go.
Ah,
It
it's so
is-
close to what I drew. Nice.
Oh my god, you sketched it already?
Oh yeah, professional concept artist. Let's go.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's true. Give them monsters.
Yes, so there it is, and
All right, where's my nope button? Yeah, thanks, I hate it. Definitely.
the good news is it doesn't go first.
Okay.
So Morzod, you go first with a 16.
Oh, look, I'm just kind of staring aghast at this thing. My word. And it is like definitely coming towards us. It's picking up.
Oh yes, it has seen you. It is striding towards you.
I'm just gonna shift myself up here and call out all that I'm doing. And if they've got any like movement left, I'm just gonna ready in action. I'm gonna wait. I'm
Okay,
not
where-
going to that thing. I just moved myself up a little bit ahead of Dagmar. Is everyone seeing that?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, because we've had troubles with Astral, I'll just quickly ping. Morzod is here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, and the creature is
Over
here, just to
there.
the left of that. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we're all in sync.
Yep.
Morzod, you can take a ranged attack if you have one, or you can
No.
ready. You can ready in action.
Yeah, ready in action is my my MO here.
Okay, what are you readying, and what will trigger it?
If it comes close enough for me to swipe, I'm absolutely going to hit it with my mace.
Cool. Okay, Aussie,
Mhm.
it is your turn. I'm going to say that you've not been made aware that the danger is now clear and present.
Probably not.
Um,
Or I feel like maybe Glow would let me know at this point.
Yes.
But I don't think I can react.
That's
this
fair
turn.
enough. So, so this
Did you roll
turn,
initiative below?
so
I didn't.
this
Did she go on my turn? I can't remember.
glow goes on your turn.
Okay.
So glow basically informs you that something is happening. So what I'll do is I'll give you your either a move action or an action.
I think I'll just stand. I'll stand up.
Okay,
Because he was sitting down. Yeah.
cool.
I'll say that was my turn. Yeah.
The creature is now the Bone Strider's turn.
Ah.
Good,
It
good.
moves-
Nice, friendly name.
5, 10,
Was
15,
very
20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Oh,
Hey.
get fucked.
and it is going to. So it has these, huge, long bone protrusions that are its legs, and it is just as it just charges forward and stabs at the ground, trying to pierce Morzod.
Right. So what do I roll to try and not get pierced?
Well, it rolls. Nope.
Aussie screamed a little when he saw it.
Gonna say
It rolls.
20.
I assume a 10 does not hit you, Morzod.
My armor class is 18. So.
Okay, no. And
Cool.
so the 17 would also miss, yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Not by much though. Holy crap.
Yeah. So as you're standing there, this thing sort of comes up, and these two legs just sort of stab into the ground and almost hit you, and you get your attack on it. That
Yeah,
you
I'm
were readying.
absolutely going to swing at its legs.
Yeah.
So I just roll to attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go +4. That is 19.
Oh, wow. That's a hit.
Yep, okay. And roll for the damage. It's a 5.
Okay. So it runs up, stab into the ground, and another one right next to you. And as it comes down, you crack it with your mace, and you can actually see that the bone leg, fractures. A little fracture line appears in it. So you've hurt this thing.
Unappealing. Yeah, have a go.
Yeah. Okay. It is Dagmar or Vitericus.
I'm guessing I will be going first.
Your dex is probably high.
Yeah. Cool. Dagmar is going to roll a little further away from the bone nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay. As you move away, the creature has incredibly long legs that give it reach. So it actually gets an attack of opportunity on you.
Okay, she's got flexibility.
Cool. What happens?
Maybe you're too small. Maybe it won't hit you.
I am very
Nice.
small. I'm
Does
less than a third of its height.
I think a 20 hits you.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Just.
A little bit.
Leave our nugget
So-
alone.
Wow, are you kidding me?
Oh, don't
Oh,
tell me.
Here come the
You
crit.
are very... Okay, I rolled the wrong dice. You don't take 16 points of damage, because I should be rolling 2d6, not 2d12.
Oh!
Protect the dwarf.
Yike.
That's a bit better. You only take 11 points of piercing damage.
Just
As this thing
Christ.
spears you in the side,
Dwarf kebab.
but you are now you do manage to get away as this now bloodied leg pulls out of you, and you still have your action.
Roll
Cool.
to cry.
Not feeling great about bleeding liberally from the side. I'm going to raise my short bow and shoot it.
Shoot her! Shoot her!
Oh, motherfucker. I rolled a 7.
7 does not hit.
I'm guessing due to
Yeah, I
the
was going to
bleeding.
say, given what just happened to you, I'd miss too.
Thematically.
And it's a bit of a hard target because it is 15 feet off the ground. And I will say that now that you've all got a better look at it, you can see that it does look like a human or humanoid torso, in which the arms have burst out and turned into these bone spurs as legs, and then one of the human's legs has burst into a third of these spurs, and the other leg has turned into this claw-like structure that is hanging underneath it.
Are you okay, DM?
And Feed the Writer is now offline. I don't blame you.
just get a note out of that one.
Just casually running away. Actually, no. This last turn is like a lesson against running away, which is apparently bad now.
Brave's a kind one.
Go watch that reach.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know.
Okay.
Now we
If you have no bonus actions, drinking a potion is a bonus action, by the way. So, and I think you do have a health potion. I'm not saying you should do that, but there's that option.
There's
I
that
do
reminder.
have a health potion.
Players always
I
do forget.
feel, yeah, I might tempt fate and leave it a bit in case I
Okay.
get a little bit more damaged.
Vitaricus, Dagmar has chosen to tempt the dungeon master.
Okay.
So it's your turn.
Jesus.
Um,
Please be
having sort
kind.
of sat there and listened to this horrible laugh cry, I'm going to match it a little bit
Ooh.
and throw some unsettling words back at our Bone Walker, which is me using a point of my bardic inspiration to subtract a d6 from its next saving throw.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
So I think I roll the d6 now, and then it comes off the next saving throw, and that's a
Cool.
6.
Oh, well done. Do please remind me in case I forget.
Yes. It's about to make that save now, though, because I'm going to burn one of my second level spells by... Looks like I'm drawing something on the back of my gong, and then I'm going to hit it out into the into our critter and cast Phantasmal Force.
Ooh.
So to the rest of you, absolutely nothing happened. I've just hit my gong at it. But for our creature...
I'm bleeding and currently thinking, are you serious?
So basically, I've just matched the weird laugh cry, and while I'm doing that, I've hit my gong at it, which doesn't seem to have done anything. But Phantasmal Force creates an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature, so I'm going to summon a tidal wave of like bones and skeletons and stuff. That's 10 foot tall, basically, like a 10-foot cube of, or 10-foot wave of bone.
Okay.
That's going to roll up to our critter and sort of do battle with it as an illusion.
Okay. And does it have a save to make?
It does. It is a... Hang on, that's what happens afterwards. Intelligence saving throw, -6.
Yeah. No, it's not making that.
Nice.
Wonderful.
It might not surprise you to know that this is not the most intelligent of creatures you've encountered.
No, but I did want to sort of make it a bit more of a sure thing since it's one of my second level slots. So when a target is affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real. The target rationalizes any illogical outcomes from interacting with the phantasm, so, stays whatever. It can use its action to make an intelligence check to offset it. But an affected target is so convinced of the phantasm's reality that it can even take damage from the illusion. A phantasm created to appear as a creature can attack the target, hence the bone swarm. Each round on my turn, the phantasm can deal 1d6 psychic damage to the target if it's engaging the phantasm, basically.
Okay.
Watching the stuff you do is so cool.
That is a very cool spell.
So it's sort of to get some damage on, but also to distract it from the little
Yep.
people with a big tidal wave. So do I drop that d6 of damage now, or do I do that
on the
my
creature's turn? Yeah.
No, on my turn. Each round on your turn, it can do.
Oh, okay. Good.
Damage.
We'll go and roll then.
It's only a 1 damage, but psychic damage.
Okay.
That's the initial
One-
thesis.
Point
Yeah.
of psychic damage. Okay. And is that everything?
That's everything. I have used all of my actions and bonus actions.
Okay. Morzod, it is your turn. And Aussie, you are after this.
I'm absolutely swinging the blade again.
Don't forget the Terracus if you want to move.
I can move. I'm probably okay here for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's
let's
fighting
see.
a...
I would advise against moving.
You guys
Oh,
can't
roll
see
it.
anything, but it's fighting a tidal wave of bones. It's fine.
Oh, I need 12 this time. Does 12 hit?
12 does not hit, I'm afraid.
Alright, I'll whiff that one because it's freaking spindly legs. And busy stabbing our dwarf and going, Jesus Christ, what is that?
Are you going to move?
Oh, look, I'm still right next to it. I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Aussie, it's your turn.
Good. He's going to panic and pick up all of his papers and his spell book.
Panic, wet himself just a little bit.
Please, he has class.
Came out of a trance and everyone is screaming and bleeding.
Yeah.
Probably thought the laughing was Vitaricus or something.
Yeah, well, and Vitaricus is laughing back at it now, so it's... all
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, so it is actually hilarious. It's like that gif where you walk in and you got the pizzas and everything's on fire.
Oh yeah,
Alright,
this
so-
is the community moment.
Yeah. All right, so he's going to open his spell book and flick to the page that has the spell for Witch Bolt inscribed on it. And I am going to try and hit it with my Witch Bolt. I am a good distance away. Sorry, just checking. Okay, yep, that's fine. There's a 12 hit!
No.
12 does not hit, I'm afraid.
Fuck! So I second
So
level
this-
spell.
It's this crackling beam of light that you recently saw almost completely fry a diprotodon flies through the air but fails to make contact with this hideous aberration in front of you.
I swear it doesn't happen often. And he's gonna...
It's okay, Ozzy. 1 in 4.
Is it going to move
I
away?
judge you while I'm bleeding.
Is Glow going to do anything, or is Glow just staying out of the fight?
She is going to... So as an owl, she has flyby, so she doesn't get hit with opportunity attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So if she can, she would like to use the help action and give advantage to the next hit, if that's possible.
Sure.
By like maybe flying around its face and like doing no damage. But
Yep,
giving
that is fine. Yep.
like
that
pecking
will-
a scratch.
Nice
That will-
little magpie swoop.
So that will happen on Dagmar's turn, because Dagmar goes after the Bone Strider. Speaking of which, it is now the Bone Strider's turn.
Please don't eat me.
12
So-
doesn't hit. Write that down. 12 doesn't.
So yes, the Bone Strider is it sees itself being attacked by this swarm of bones and other hideous things, and it doesn't seem as surprised as you might want to think it would be. It almost looks like it's going, oh yeah, just this again.
Oh, good.
You might be learning something about Mercer's past at this point.
How many soothsayers has it eaten?
So many bones versus pass.
So it is going to take a stab at the phantasmal force and fail to do any damage to it. And in its mind's eye, it sees this swarm of meat and bones just sort of warp around its leg, so it fails to make contact. But it will also move forward, and because it has these very tall legs, it can actually occupy the same space as a medium creature. And it is now lowers itself slightly, and that one clawed appendage comes down and tries to pick up Morzod.
What? Excuse me?
So, Morzod, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Dex saving throw. So there's that one there. 16.
16. You succeed. Its
Hey.
claw comes down and swipes the air near you, and but fails to grab you. And this creature is looking down at you, and it looks over at the other three of you, and it looks at what it believes to be this wave of bone and meat, just goes.
Translation. Why did I get out of bed this morning?
Good. Good.
And it is now Dagmar's turn.
This thing is
You
crazy.
get advantage. Oh my god, sorry. We're having like a dust storm and a thunderstorm right now.
Oh wow!
At least it's
That's
not a
very
bone
exciting. God. Well, I'm going to try and shoot it again.
Okay, with
and
advantage.
So do I roll that with advantage? Yeah.
Yes,
Do you get sneak attack at 3rd level, or do you get? Is that another? You don't have that yet.
it's a hit, and you do have
sneak
sneak.
attack, yeah.
Yeah, we checked that last week, I think.
And I
Yeah,
think
and-
with
Mhm.
Glow and Morzord there, you should get it. I'm not a rogue. I don't know.
I'm still new to all of this math stuff. But yeah, it's a 19.
Yep, that is a hit. So you can roll damage for that, and because it is sneak attack, if you scroll down in your actions, you can also roll the 2d6 sneak attack damage on top of your regular damage.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
That was 4 for the normal damage, and then 3. So 7.
Nice.
Okay, the arrow flies up into the air and hits this creature in the side, in the side of its torso, and the arrow sort of lodges into where you think there might still be a rib cage.
Gross.
I'm going to shout something obscene in Dwarven at it.
Okay.
Or she looks over just like disgusted.
Or impressed.
Such vulgar language.
You get the feeling
I am bleeding.
You get the feeling it either doesn't understand or doesn't care.
That's fine.
Are you going to move?
Get another attack if I do.
Okay, its reach is probably not like 30 feet.
You are further away from it than you were last time.
I am going to go on the other side of this rock with Aussie.
Okay, you are out of its range and it does not take a swipe at you.
I was gonna say, if it's super distracto by the phantasm, does it still get attacks of opportunity?
That's a good question.
The spell doesn't burn any reactions, sadly.
Alright.
And if that's your turn, Dagmar, it's Vitericus.
Yes, so the Bone Swarm is going to fall down on it again for another 1d6 psychic damage, because it hasn't broken my concentration on it, and it hasn't tried to see through the illusion. So that is a solid 6 damage.
Hot.
Nice.
Nice.
Getting some good rolls there.
I know, right? I don't think that's an action.
This is Vitericus's battle.
I mean, so far we've had Aussie absolutely.
If it's a concentration spell, then no, you don't have to spend anything. To continue doing damage, you just have to maintain.
Yeah, I've got to maintain concentration.
Yeah, if you cast another concentration spell, that'll cancel out the old one.
Wonderful. In that case, then I'm just going to whisper into the back of my gong, summon one of my spirits, and throw a dissonant whispers at it. Which is not distort value. That's a different thing.
To make him feel worthless.
Yeah. Half the perceived value of the critter. Wisdom saving throw. I can't imagine it's terribly wise, so I'm not going to burn another bardic on it.
It's not, but it rolls a natural 20.
Oh no.
So it succeeds. So does the spell have any effect on it at all?
That's what I'm just checking. It doesn't look like it, which is sad.
Ripperoni.
No. And it's not deaf or anything?
No, it is not deaf.
Cool. So it doesn't automatically succeed. But no, it just fizzles. So it ignores the dissonant whispers and keeps on going, which is sad.
It's a little distracted.
Yeah, clearly. That's fine. Carry on. That's my turn.
So you're going to stay where you are?
I am currently in engagement range, I suspect. Well, from what I saw of Dagmar, so I'm just going to trust to my natural reflexes to avoid getting hit.
Fair enough. It does have long legs. Morzod, it is your turn.
I'm swinging at it again.
Okay.
I'm hit this thing. Where's my roll to hit? 12 again. Bugger.
Does not hit, I'm afraid.
This thing is moving around too much. Oh, still, you leggy git!
Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Okay. Aussie.
Okay, Aussie, embarrassed and frustrated, is going to try this again. And I'm going to cast Witch Bolt at first level.
Once more with feeling.
With a worse roll. Oh, wait, better. 13. Does the 13 hit?
It does not, I'm afraid.
Okay.
The second Witch Bolt flies between the creature's legs.
It's hard to hit.
You're telling me.
13 doesn't hit.
Is Glow going to continue with the flyby distraction?
Yes, she is. I'm going to say she has a 60-foot fly speed, so she's going to, dive down and give help action and then fly back up 30.
You can assume that's automatically happening for the rest of this combat, I guess.
Yeah, to give Dagmar advantage. Sneak attack.
Anything else, Aussie?
Yeah, he moved back 5 feet.
Okay.
Kind of flipped through his spellbook.
Which bolt actually hits? Which bolt actually hits?
Bone Strider, which I'm going to rename. I don't like it being called my new character.
Call him Dave.
In another life.
I mean, he's an ex-Dave.
Okay. The Bone Strider is now going to make an intelligence check to try and work out
That's
what
an
is.
action for
Yep.
Phantasmal Force, so that's the
Yep.
whole... Yeah, cool.
Oh, wow. Rolls an 18
It's getting
minus
smarter as we fight it.
-3 because it is very low intelligence. So 15, is that...
That will beat it.
Okay. So this creature has now worked out that this phantasmal force is not real, but it has used its actions, and it's... and it's actually going to... It is going to move towards Vitericus.
Good.
Which means, Morsod, you do get an attack of opportunity as it moves out of range.
Yeah, boy, swinging. So is that just my usual roll to attack?
Yes.
Right. That's a 10. No, it's moving too fast.
You poor thing. You're not rolling well
tried.
today.
It's too skinny. Can't hit this stupid thing.
Dagmar, it is your turn.
I am going to do what I do frequently and shoot it. So, am I still rolling with advantage?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Unless, Aussie, unless
Still
Glow
first
wants to
time.
give somebody else advantage on their attack.
Nope, she's giving it to Dagmar.
Cool.
Cool. 17.
17 hits.
Oh.
Yes.
And you still have sneak attack bonus on this.
Stunning.
Dagmar's a monster.
Cool. So 5 plus 12.
Oh, wow.
17? Very bad at that, hence the question mark.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage as this second arrow pierces it in what was probably a collarbone at some point.
Nice.
And there's this thick, sort of syrupy blood just slowly oozing out of the wound.
Gross.
I am getting it back.
Vitericus, unless Dagmar has anything else to do.
No, I'm good.
Vitericus.
So my Phantasmal Force dissipates as soon as the critter realizes it's a fake.
That's right.
So I am having flashbacks to that time another long-legged creature jumped me. So the spiders in the forest and the
Kill
potential
Bill
pain
Sirens.
is waiting for me. So I'm going to throw another Dissonant Whispers at it and see how it goes. So that's another Wisdom save.
Oh, good grief. 19 minus 1, so 18 on its
Wow.
wisdom
That
save.
succeeds. No damage.
I thought you said this thing was dumb.
Yeah, that was wisdom, not intelligence.
Oh,
its
right.
wisdom's pretty low. It's just rolling really well.
This thing was clearly a warlock in a past life or something.
Lucky monster.
Anything else for Terracus? It is directly above you at the moment.
It is. I'm going to call out to Morzod and say, Morzod, friend, little help, and kick him a bardic inspiration.
Yo.
My panic is apparently inspiring.
I mean, it definitely makes me want to help you, fam.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the good news is it is now your chance to do that, Morzod, because it is your turn.
Yep, alright. So how do we roll with advantage again?
You don't get advantage. You get bardic inspiration off me.
So what does that do again?
So you roll
An extra
normally and then add 1d4.
Ah, was it D4 or
I think
D6?
I'm up to D6.
Okay, and then add 1d6.
Another one of D6. Alrighty, well that's a 16.
That hits.
Alright.
Wonderful.
So 1d6 plus 2 for my actual mace, and then I'll just roll a second one after?
No, the bardic inspiration is for the roll to hit. But-
Okay. Well then, yeah. I in that case, it was even more than that, so I definitely hit it.
But you can hold on to it for next time if you didn't need it this time.
Well, I didn't need it.
So you can hang
that's
on to
crap.
it. And use it
I got 3 damage. This thing's
Okay.
legs are really hard to hit.
But you do whack it on one of the legs, and you realize that that the leg you hit it on, I assume you've moved closer because you're currently 10 feet away from it.
Yeah. I'll be right on
Yeah.
everything.
As you hit it on the bone, your mace actually seems to be doing extra damage to these legs.
Ooh, crunchy.
Yeah, weakness to bludgeoning, it seems.
My one weakness: half orcs with big sticks.
Like a skeleton.
Yeah, skelly-mans.
And
Oh, wait.
yes, this creature now looks like it's taken a significant amount of damage from you. It is bloodied, as you would say.
And crackly.
Yep, and slightly fractured. Aussie.
It's gonna keep doing Witch Bolt until one hits.
That's the spirit.
It worked once.
It did! 15! I'm slowly going up the AC line.
Yay.
Oh, come on!
Not quite enough. I'm sorry. Its AC is 16. Its
That
AC
one-
is...
That one surely burnt its beard hair, though.
Oh
Yes, this witch bolt just shears off some of this matted black hair that's hanging, this mane of hair that's hanging down from its head.
Aussie looks very dejected.
Glow continues with the distraction. It is the Bone Strider's turn, who is now going to try to pick up Vetericus. So, Vetericus, can you please give me a dexterity save?
We can try.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 23.
That is successful. This claw comes down and scrapes into the dirt near you and actually just picks up this chunk of dirt and brings it up to the mouth of the creature, and it looks at this clawful of dirt and goes and drops it, and the dirt just sprinkles back down to the path.
No,
And
I want to live.
Now going to turn its head to look at you and try. It only gets the one leg stab after a grab attempt.
Oh, just one leg stab is right. That's enough skill.
Oof. I'm gonna say a 25 hits you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just.
So you take 13 points of piercing damage as this bony leg comes down and pierces your collar, going partly into the back, and then pulls out again, and you've got blood sort of pouring down your back now.
I'm gonna say that is definitely into the spraying range of things that happen. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, don't like that.
Don't like that.
And it's not going to move. It is currently preoccupied with the two of you. So, Dagmar, it is your turn.
Yes, we're going to shoot it. Shockingly. With advantage.
Seems to be doing pretty well so far. I mean, just
All I can do. It's a 19 with advantage.
19 hits.
God. And so, am I still sneak attacking?
You are, yes.
Cool. So, 6,
Yes, as long as you have advantage to hit, you automatically get sneak attack.
15.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, another arrow flies up and goes straight into into the creature's chest, and more of this syrupy blood starts to drop down.
Thing has a lot of hit points, huh?
It does. Vetericus.
Vetericus is really starting to panic now. So I am going to... How many more bardics do I have? I have one more.
Give it to Aussie.
Well, yes, that's what I'm planning to do. I'm going to lock eyes with Aussie as I sort of stumble over backwards with blood leaking out of my collarbone, and go, aim higher, just a little higher.
Oh no.
Aussie, I can let you. I'll let you decide whether you find that inspirational or not.
I think he's a little bit offended, but yeah, all right. He's missed 3 times at this point, so.
And because I'm not particularly stable at this point, I'm going to burn Dissonant Whispers at a 2nd level.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't change the difficulty rating, but it does more damage.
Okay.
And you can't roll 19s forever.
No, we cannot. That's a wisdom save, yes?
Yes.
11.
Not enough. Wisdom 13.
Okay.
So that is 4d6 damage, which is only 8. But it now has to use its reaction to move as far away from me as possible.
Okay. And it still has its reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So it is going to turn and move this way.
Oh.
And that is as far as it can move.
Wonderful.
So, Morzod, you get an attack of opportunity. Vitericus, you can try and hit it with your gong.
Good, it's
Bonk.
true.
Alright,
think I'm going to. I think I'm just-
let's go. Roll a hit.
On the ground, slightly panicking, hyperventilating slightly.
Shit, yeah, that's an 18.
That's a hit.
Alright. Roll 2 damage. That's a 6.
Oh, that is not enough to kill it, but it is enough. So as the creature
That's one of its
starts moving away, you actually crack down on its front left leg. It's the one you hit first, and that leg actually snaps away as it puts weight on it, and the whole creature comes down now, and it's still crawling away, but is now completely lopsided. It no longer has the height above you all that it used to have, and it is moving slower than it was because it's got this one stump and this one really long leg. And it's looking in...
It's gonna fall over. Thump.
Yeah, so it's not able to move as far, and it's looking in really bad shape now.
Wonderful. So I will finish my turn by moving 30 feet away.
And Morzod, it is your turn.
Right, well, it's kind of gone over there. I'm still pretty close, I guess. You know what? I'm gonna run out and hit it.
Cool.
Yep, so I'm just gonna move up there. I can do that, right? So it's a short movement and then...
You can, yes.
Yep, cool. All right,
You can use your speed, your movement in any amount of... You can move 10, attack, then move another 15, whatever.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, I do have a ranged attack, a spiritual weapon. Doesn't matter. I prefer hitting it with the mace. Although I didn't hit it this time. That's an 8. Rip.
No, you did not hit it, I'm afraid.
Nope.
And the Bardic won't get you there either.
Skinny, wobbly, stupid piece of crap. Orcish insults. Frickin'.
Aussie, it is your turn, and you are inspired.
Yeah, seeing Vitericus as beaten up as it is, he's gonna slam his spellbook shut. 10, 15. And he will put a finger to the middle of his head and cast Mind Sliver. Which is an intelligence saving throw, super play.
You're just getting a Yu-Gi-Oh! On. Mind Crush!
Yeah.
Um,
Setting using the Dark Realm, Jimbo.
Oh, yeah.
its total for its intelligence saving throw is 0.
You didn't
Wonderful.
like that.
So it takes 1d6.
Oh, come
Okay.
on.
That's not 3 points of damage, Taze.
Oh, it is so close to death.
I would be cool if I killed it.
You're having a
after doing that.
bad day.
It is now the Bone Strider's turn.
Okay.
Does it have to keep fleeing from you, Vitericus, or is that just a one-turn thing?
I don't think so. I think it's just the reaction sort of pushes it away.
Okay. So it is now going to turn back and take 2 stabs at Morzod.
Oh, Gloves also can do her.
I'm about to become a Morzod kebab, I'm sure. This thing has been rolling so well.
1 misses,
Right?
but the other is a 20, not natural.
Yeah, I'm only got an 18 for my AC, so I guess that one.
So that's 2d6 plus 4. 10 points of piercing damage.
Ow. Alrighty, where's my hit
Okay.
point?
How are you, Morzod? Are you still standing?
I got 14 health left. I'm all right.
Okay, cool. So the leg comes down and it sort of hits you low in the belly and pulls out again. And the creature sort of leans down and looks at you, and because you're almost at the same level now that one of its legs is broken, and it's just going.
Is there any action I can do to punch it in the face?
That is called your attack action, and it happens on your turn.
Rip. All right.
Come on, Dagmar, finish it off.
Dagmar.
Oh yeah, we're gonna try.
Shoot him! Shoot
I
him!
knock an arrow. And
Still got the advantage.
18.
That's a hit.
And
Yes!
Right through the mouth.
damage.
Get it.
Yeah, we're gonna kill it. It's 7
Yes.
Oh,
7. 14.
I
Oh,
think
wow.
You know what?
So-
That's just going to make it
Retribution.
explode, and Morzod is right next to that thing. This is going to be gross.
So,
you
Morzod,
shoot it straight in the
this hideous face, and you now get a really good look at it, and you can see it is basically a human face, but the mouth has been stretched, the jaw has been exposed, all of the skin from around the mouth has peeled away, and you can see these sharp teeth with what almost looks like it could be like some kind of venom dripping out of them, but you'll never know because it never got a chance to bite you.
Oh, good.
And
Oh,
Thank
good.
God.
and these big bulging eyes, and it's making this horrible sort of laugh cry sound as another arrow thunk lodges right into the side of its head, and it just sort of stops there for a moment and goes and then falls down to the ground, and after a moment the limbs sort of twitch and writhe, and then the whole thing goes still. And you have defeated this horrible thing from the mind of David. And
Everyone do that 2-frame victory sequence.
it's getting late, so we should finish up in the moment. But what I will say before we do is that you do notice that this creature nearby, near to where this creature came from, there's what looks like a wrecked caravan with sort of abandoned crates and goods and an old wagon cart. So
Oh, yo, dropped.
there might be loot to examine at the beginning of the next session.
Rad.
Excellent.
So that's where we're going to leave today's game. Thank you to my players. As usual, you've made this game a lot of fun for me to run. And thank you for watching. We will be back next week. Bye.